If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Tony Griffith, longtime friend and involved in music for many, many years. Tony with the Griffith family. Tony, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Jimmy. Good to see you.
Good to have you with us this morning. And it's a big night down at Brown's Chapel tonight. Headliner coming to town. Talk about it.
Well, we recently just moved back to Sylacauga, and the church is doing they're doing a Rise campaign, getting ready to pay off the facility, and
that's always good.
It's always good, and things are moving and shaking at Brown's Chapel. God's really moving, and so we're excited to be back, and we wanted to do something to help kind of kick that off and bring some more money to the Rise campaign. And so I called a friend in Jason Krabb and said, "Hey man, you want to come to Sylacauga?" And he said, "Absolutely." And so we've just been asked to do some of these dates on the Good Night Out tour with him and Mickey Bale. And so we'll be traveling around doing some of this stuff, but we thought, why not start here? So here we are.
Now, Mickey Bale, he's a Christian comedian. This guy, he bring a house down.
He's a mess. He was a radio DJ for a long time at WDJC, and he's a pastor in Bessemer, and he's just kind of taken off. This thing that he's been doing it's been great. It's been hilarious. I think one of the big jokes now is they're singing the chorus of 1 pound at a time, Sweet Jesus. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Jason Krabb, so many people love Jason's music and his family.
Oh yeah.
And he's just one of those down to earth guys that has made it big and hasn't forgotten his roots either.
No, Jason's a great guy. I've known him for years from the time I was working at the radio station, and then Julie and I, when we moved to Nashville, we started attending Restoring Hope Church, which is Aaron's church, his brother, and we just really had an opportunity to get to know Jason. And heart of gold, loves the Lord, loves people, and sometimes he'll stay and just kind of meet and greet with folks, and management's pulling him, going, "Hey man, you got to get to the next place," but. He stays.
A great songwriter too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's doing great.
Does he bring his band, or is he soloing tonight, or what?
You never know what's going to happen. With the way things went with COVID, it was kind of a really strange deal. He and Mickey actually kind of pulled this Good Night Out tour off right smack dab in the middle of COVID. They were able to go out and do some smaller dates, and he would take an acoustic guitar. And he would play the acoustic guitar, and Mickey would do his thing.
That's him, isn't it?
It is, and it really gives him an opportunity to do some of the stuff that he does now, and then do a lot of the stuff that the fans are going to want, like the old Krabb family songs. But he's doing dates with the band, so it just depends. So we don't really know who he's got coming in and who's going to be with him. So it'll be a fun surprise.
Now, Jason Krabb, this guy's known worldwide. He's been in some huge venues too.
Oh, absolutely. He's done everything from the Grand Ole Opry to the Brooklyn Tab. He's done a lot of stuff with Jada Marcus from Rascal Flatts. He's been able to really broaden his horizons from just the Southern gospel music world. Yeah,
Tony Griffith with us this morning from the Griffith family, and how did COVID affect you guys?
We were really blessed. When we first found out about COVID, we were actually on the bus in Missouri, and they were talking about shutting everything down. We were in the middle of a revival, and so we just kind of finished things out. Well, we came back to Clarksville, Tennessee, which was where we were living at the time, and we were just trying to figure out, okay, what's going to happen. We're not going to be touring. We were in the process of helping build a recording studio up there, and so we were launching the Griffith Family Music Production Company, and so we've been working on that. So we do a whole lot of we do everything from recording to video shoots and music videos, and so it actually worked out. So as soon as the touring stopped for me, every artist in the country started calling, going, we want to get prepared to get back on the road. They knew things were going to open back up, and they knew it was going to be just wide open when they did finally say, "You guys go," and that's what's happened. So we've been doing a ton of that. We want to bring some of it to Sylacauga.
Talk about your production company a little bit.
Well, it's GFM Productions. If you look us up on Facebook, you can find us at GFM Studios, or our website is griffithfamilymusic.com, and that covers the ministry and it covers the recording studio. And it's been a wild ride. We started out putting the studio together in Clarksville and kind of getting that off the ground. And we had Brandon Talby, who is Craig Borgen's bass player, who was working for us full time. and he was running things for us when they were off the road. And then Jody McBrayer from Avalon was working for us full time. And so we just kind of, we set up a temporary place, got all that running and working, and we've been doing video shoots for everybody. It's just been wild. We've done some stuff for Kurt Carr, and so I was a part of a big video shoot for a song called Bless Somebody Else, and it's got Yolanda Adams and Smokey Norfolk, and we shot all the footage for Wes Morgan. And
wow.
It was just a ton of fun. T.D. Jakes was a part of it. He was doing some vocal overdubs, and so it's been really cool. Got to go out the last two concerts during COVID when he did some drive-in concerts. Greg Morgan was using our bus, and so we would go out and do some management things and help with that too. So it's been a neat year.
For those of you who may not know, Tony grew up here in Sylacauga, family here in Sylacauga, goes on the road, does well. You come back to Sylacauga,
sure,
and you're at Brown's Chapel now, and it's a huge event tonight. What time does the event start?
Event starts at 7 o'clock, doors open at 6.
Got tickets available?
We do have some, very few. I think we're down to about 30 tickets available.
Yeah.
So, but still call. You never know. Sometimes with the rain outside, some folks may not come. So, we want to pack the place out.
Where can they get tickets?
They can get it at Carden's Gift Cottage. Okay. She's got them, and then they can come to the church, and they can actually get them tonight if they want to get them at the door too, if they want to receive.
Yeah, wow, fantastic. And Brown's Chapel is just a great church, a wonderful church family, and not a bad pastor either, is he?
Man, Jeff's great. And that whole thing of us moving back here was it was definitely a God thing. We came down in November, and Jeff had called me and said, hey, I haven't done a revival since I've been pastoring at Brown's Chapel, and want you to come down and do a revival. And so we came down and did the revival in November. And Julie and I were in the process of purchasing a house in Clarksville. And we were also, we're a big part of the recording studio that was up there. And the Wednesday night before the service started, Jeff calls me in and says, hey, how you feel about moving home? And I said, you know what? I said, I've been looking for property down here. I said, just so I'd have a place to pull the bus when we're in town, spend more time with my dad and my family. And, I said, but I don't think we can move. We got all this stuff going on. He said, we'd love to have you as our worship pastor. And I said, with us being on the road, that's gonna pop back up. And he goes, well, we know that you guys got to travel. We know that's your main deal. And, we want you to continue to do that. But, let's talk. And so we'll pray about it, and if it's God, we'll know that it's happening. And so, Julie's family all lives in Birmingham. My family all live down here, and we've been away for years. And so it's nice to be able to come home. And so, we kind of was praying about it. Well, Thanksgiving morning, I got an email from the people we were buying the house from. It says, hey, the lender's got COVID, and we're gonna have to extend the contract, but we've decided since the market's so good, we're going to raise the price of the house $15,000. And so I kind of looked at Julie and I said, maybe this is God trying to send us to Sylacauga. And so I picked up the phone, make a long story short, made a couple of calls, and before I knew it, I'd bought 10 acres in Coosa County and accepted the position at Brown's Chapel. And so for about 30 Sundays a year, you'll find us at Brown's Chapel, and then the other Sundays we're out on the road. So it's great. We love it. The church is growing. It's thriving. Jeff's preaching the fire down, and it's awesome.
Now, Jeff Harris, senior pastor down at Brown's Chapel Church, just down 21, just outside of Sylacauga. Big event tonight, and Jason Krabb is going to be there. And Jason doesn't get in this area very often, so it's a big plus to have him here.
Yeah, we're excited to have him here. I think the closest he's going to be for a little while is in September. We're doing another date down in Greenville, Alabama. So yeah, you definitely want to get out and be a part of this tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of live music. We're going to bring we've got a full band that's going to be there tonight with our family, and Mickey's going to, he's going to bring the house down. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I've got a few tickets available, so check with Cardinals today or check with the church, and Tony and his family will be singing. And what's some of the stuff you're singing now?
Well, we just finished a new record with Songgarden, and so my daughter is 11 who is singing with us. We've got the single out. I think the single that's actually showing right now was "Middle of a Miracle," and it did really well for us. But the one we've got out right now is a song that Jaden wrote when she was 8. She came to me and I was playing this little thing on the guitar, and she goes, "Dad, you play that same thing all the time." And I said, "Well, babe, I'm not the best guitar player in the world. I gotta do what I can." And she goes, "Well, I think I wrote a song to it." And 8 years old, you're thinking,
oh, sure.
And so she brings me this crinkled up paper, and so we start reading it. And it brings a tear to our eye. And if you don't know our marriage testimony, you'll have to come check that out tonight. But to make a long story short, it was just, she wrote us a very simple lyric. It says, "God is good." And we put it together, and it's actually our new radio single that just went out this last week. She's singing it. She's 11, and we've just been blown away by her. We pulled her on stage at Dollywood one year when she was about 6. And after the concert was over, she come back out and she goes, "Okay, Dad, that was fun. When do I get to sing on all the songs?" I said, "Baby, when you learn how to sing harmony." And she went to work. So she's playing mandolin, singing harmony, playing ukulele. She's doing great.
She's going to bump you out for long.
She's my retirement plan.
Tony Griffith, our guest this morning. And if you're not aware of Tony's family testimony, you need to be there tonight for that. As a matter of fact, you guys go all over the country sharing your testimony.
We do. It was wild when the Lord restored our marriage. I basically told him, I said, "Listen, I've always wanted to sing, but I've always wanted to sing for me." That was kind of the thing. I wanted to be on the platform. And now that's totally shifted. We just want to tell people about him and what he's done. And when that happened, it was almost like we started giving that testimony, and the next thing we know, we get a phone call from TBN. "Hey, we want the Griffith family to come up and share." And so we go up and sing on TBN's Praise the Lord. And then we go to Daystar, and we get to share some of our testimony on Daystar. And so now we're in the process of writing a book, trying to get that done. And then at the end of the year, we're starting to launch these marriage conferences. And you just
Talk about growing up in Sylacauga, Tony.
I love it here. I've always loved it here. It's always been home. My whole life I went to B.B. Comer. Played football for Bobby Overton.
Small church?
It's a very small church in 5 Points.
Yeah.
It was always a great, friendly community in town, and I reserved with the police department for a while and did that. And so I know Kelly Johnson really well.
Spun a few records too, didn't you?
First job was working at WYA. You and John Vogel put me in the seat there, and I learned how to do sales, and so that's kind of been my life. Music has been mainly all I've ever really known, other than policing and bounty hunting for a little while when I got out of just kind of got away from things. But
how's the music industry changed, Tony?
Well, it's the model's different. Years ago, people would run to Nashville. They would want to get with a record company, and the record company would, they would put so much money in them, and then they would establish an artist. And it's just not like that anymore. Things have changed. The day of a record company paying for a CD is very few and far between. If you're not an established artist, they're not going to front the money. It's good to get with an independent company, like my company, to get out and get a great record company. Yeah, a little shameless plug. But it's good to get with a company that can give you direction and make those connections for you. It's just a different model. I'm a part of the Southern Gospel Guild, and working on that side of things. And so I'm really seeing how things are done in the GMA and the Gospel Music Association with the Dove Awards, and seeing a lot of the things on the CMA side in the country world. And so, I get to be made privy to a lot of that stuff, and it's just, man, the world is so different. The way we used to do things with radio is different. The way they contact radio is different. Used to, we look forward to the artist calling us and say, "Hey, will you play our song?" Now, a lot of the DJs, they're like, "You know what? I don't have time. Please just, leave me alone, or let your promoter call." And so it's a different world. It really is.
Yeah. Before we go, talk about the event tonight down at Browns Chapel.
Yeah, Jason Krabb, Griffith family, and Mickey Bale. It's a benefit for the Rise campaign. Child Fund has become a part of this, and so we're excited. And they'll talk about Child Fund tonight. Jason's gonna do a great job, as he always does. I'm sure he's gonna sing his new single, and Just As I Am, which I don't know if you saw that he was on a race car. They literally put his face and his name on a race car for some of the big races in NASCAR this year, which was kind of neat.
Yeah.
So spreading the gospel on the NASCAR, and so he'll do some of those songs, and then I'm sure he'll go back and he'll pick up some of the old
Yeah,
Krabb family tunes.
he
and
does.
He can't get away with not doing that.
He does some of the great old hymns of the church, so the older people like that. And then he's got upbeat music as well. And of course, the Griffith family will be there and doing some of their great stuff. And Tony, Mickey Bale, he will make you laugh places where you think you can't laugh. So
buddy.
All of that tonight, 7 o'clock, right?
7 o'clock. Doors open at 6.
Be there, be square. Tony, always a pleasure, sir.
Thank you, Jimmy.
More Daybreak just ahead.